Hello, Durud and Shalom. We be live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to today's program. We have some updates on the negotiations. So although we had these massive strikes that just took place in the past few days, including potentially some of the Arab countries that joined in, we are, it looks like, indeed going back to talking. But the talks this time won't be the same talks as you heard before. When we hear negotiations and talks, I immediately get depressed. The rest of my day is ruined. But this time, there is a caveat to this. This time, they're going to be negotiating tomorrow in Oman. So let's actually get ahead and add you to the map here. So for the negotiation status, they will be doing it either in Qatar or Oman, and next week they're supposed to meet in Switzerland. So let's get into why they're meeting in the first place. Well, our best friends and totally neutral parties, Qatar and Pakistan, seem to be drawing the United States back into the negotiating table. But in reality, this is President Trump pushing for it, and he's sending JD, Witkoff, and Kushner, probably Witkoff and Kushner tomorrow, to go talk to them. Let's start with the statement that he said first, and I'll get to the caveats of why this will be different in just a second. Today, Pete Hegseth shared Donald Trump's Truth Social post saying, "The Islamic Republic of Iran asked us to continue talks. We have agreed to do so, but the U.S. has stated to them, to the Islamic Republic, in no uncertain terms, that the ceasefire is over. They begged us to talk, and we told them we can talk, but the ceasefire is over." What does that mean? On July 7th, 3 days ago, we saw that the oil waiver for the Islamic Republic to make money and subsequently buy U.S. wheat and beans was revoked. Then we see that the ceasefire is broken, but the MOU is still there. So what does this mean for us? We have some analysis by our really insightful Behnam Ben Talablu, and he's saying basically that in his mind, the US will only be done with the MOU if they restore the blockade, they add new sanctions, they keep on adding sanctions, or if they bring in a lot more military force, so the USS Boxer, if it arrives, if there's more aircraft that are arriving, because some of them have actually been rotating out. They've been on the deployment for a long time. The USS Abraham Lincoln has been deployed for over 7 months without porting once. So eventually, largely analysts are thinking that the USS Abraham Lincoln is eventually going to go back to port within a month or two from now. It kind of has to. So unless it keeps on getting resupplied by air. Now, the reason why these talks are different, is because you guys just heard the ceasefire is over, but there's new sanctions. So the Islamic Republic has new sanctions placed on it, and these are actually placed on certain individuals that are close to the supreme leader and other companies that are abroad. These companies move billions of dollars to the Islamic Republic. So this is a big move by Scott Bessent, and we'll show you guys what he said and why that's affecting this. Where is it? There it is, new sanctions by Scott Bessent. Here we are. So he had some pretty good wording today. So if you're an Iranian citizen or if you're an Iranian, this would particularly pertain to you. Bessent, in his gung-ho style, this guy looks like a supervillain. He acts like a supervillain, but he's very constrained. And he says, the so-called supreme leader is hiding and his regime's crumbling. We, the Treasury, are going to do everything we can to isolate that supreme leader.
Bring it up.
And
Are you sure?
Oh, is it not up? Oh,
No, it's
my
not.
bad. There it is. So, our dear Scott Bessent saying the supreme leader is hiding, he's nowhere to be found, the regime's crumbling, and we, the Treasury, are going to do everything we can to pound the supreme leader and the top leadership of the Islamic Republic in particular. What are we going to do with this money? We're going to keep it for the Iranian people. We will preserve the assets for the Iranian people. So that's great. That's beautiful to hear. And he's been saying that for a long time. He's one of those people who hasn't been changing his words. So who did they put sanctions on? The biggest sanction here is on a guy named Ali Ansari or Ansari. This guy is the one who managed, get this, he manages Mojtaba's global empire. So we know that Mojtaba Khamenei has this big global investment portfolio worth billions of dollars in real estate in London and other countries. It's over with. They know where that money's going. All of the people surrounding that team are done. The companies surrounding it are done. These companies move billions of dollars, are able to move billions of dollars into the Islamic Republic if they need to be. Not any longer. So these are new sanctions. This actually violates paragraph 9 of the MOU because it said no new sanctions. But who cares? The United States is the global superpower. What is the Islamic Republic going to do? It's not like they haven't broken the MOU every single day either. So we need to see more sanctions be put on a rolling basis towards the Islamic Republic. And to me and to Behnam Ben Talablu, that would mean the final decision done by Donald Trump to just finish them off. So again, we're looking at more sanctions, the blockade, or way more troops coming in. Looks like people in the chat actually recognize who this person is. So yeah, he's a big company in the United Arab Emirates. So do a lot of these people, actually. So these are multiple different people, multiple different companies, all slammed with sanctions. You know what that means? That means that Scott Bessent has been watching them for a long time. And he's identified that these people in particular, with proof, are tied to the supreme leader. And he's put pressure on the supreme leader and everyone around him in particular. That's one thing. The other thing is, we go back to the negotiation status, that we have a bit of piece of news coming out from CBS here. CBS is giving us an interesting little scoop. So this is being largely reported by multiple different people that senior US officials are reporting to CBS here. The Islamic Republic privately told Trump advisors, hey, yeah, shooting at the ships, that was our fault. We made a mistake. Okay, we made a mistake. We didn't mean to do that. It was a hardliner faction in the Islamic Republic who shot at the ships. It wasn't us who were talking to you. That is what we've been saying forever. We've been saying that
Holy
forever.
crap, this is the guys. Look at this. This is what the Islamic Republic keeps telling. This is what they're doing. We know it. They're like, it's not us. We're negotiating. It's those other guys. They're the bad ones. It's not us. Don't punish us. Help us punish those other people. Like, we don't want to. We can't control everybody. Amazing.
Exactly.
This is exactly what we told you from the beginning they're gonna do, and that's what they're doing.
Yes. Yes, we've been telling you guys this for a long time. And so the White House apparently told the negotiators, so like this would be like Ghalibaf, Arakchi, Pezeshkian type people in the Islamic Republic, hey, you say you made a mistake? Admit it. Come out and publicly say you made a mistake and that you violated the ceasefire. We want you to say it.
Who's
And then after that, he told
wait,
JD, yeah.
Who's asking them to come public with this?
The White House wants the regime to publicly acknowledge its mistake.
Oh, this is big, guys. This is big. Is the monkey here? This is what the monkey said President Trump should do. Because this is what the Islamic Republic is trying to get away with. To come say to President Trump, like, hey, yeah, we surrender, we do what you want. Sorry about that thing. But then they go on state TV, they're like, we strong, fuck America. Oh, sorry, not swearing. F America, F Trump, all of that. Like, we strong, we humiliated them. And they need to do that to maintain their legitimacy. So Trump is like, you know what? You need to cut that out. You need to come out openly and say, we're sorry, and humble yourself in front of your own, but humbling themselves not just in front of the whole world media, but in front of their own supporters. If this is a big ask, because that would be the end of any remaining legitimacy that the reminders of the regime has among its followers if they do that. This, if President Trump gets this from the Islamic Republic, it's over when it comes to their standing in to their own followers. It's over. Like it's over. It's done. This is a great ask. I'm happy now that they're pushing on that. Like you tell us, you talk to us on the phone in a completely different way than you talk on media, especially on your own state media.
Yep.
This needs to stop. This needs to effing stop. You need to talk to the media the way you're talking to us, so everybody see how much you have lost, how devastated you are, and how eager you are to make a deal with us. So that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a great find.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people asked for the link. I put it in the chat. Here's the thing. Words are cheap, especially words, exchanged between the United States and the Islamic Republic in the past few months. What you need to do, what I would like them to do, is for Donald Trump to say, if you don't admit this is your mistake, we're going to bomb you. I just told you that the ceasefire is over. What is that possibly going to mean to your stupid, 2 brain cells that you have left, Bodybuff? I'm going to eliminate you if you don't come out and admit it, or have someone in the Islamic Republic with some standing come out and admit that you guys made a mistake. But also think about this. Who in the Islamic Republic stands to lose the most if they come out and say, we made a mistake and we fired at the ships? If Ghalibaf comes out and says it, he doesn't have control over the hardliners, and he admits that to everyone, but he also admits that he's been trying to get control of the hardliners, and he looks bad. And then the hardliners are like, oh, look, the deal's falling apart anyway. You're going to go to apologize to the Americans? Traitors? That's treason. This would, as Armin's saying, this would have huge internal consequences for the Islamic Republic. Outside analysts who are looking at the Iran situation are going to be like, oh, okay, so what? Iran comes and says they're sorry. Like, who cares? But to me and Armin, this is huge. This is a very, very consequential thing. So I would tell them, if you don't come out and apologize, you're going to get hit tomorrow, the day after, and the day after until you do it. From now on, Donald Trump said that we will talk to them, but we're not going to talk to them the same way that we were talking to them. We're going to apply maximum pressure, and immediately, he said that yesterday, today, new sanctions. That's a great step. We're going towards the right direction. Again, it looks like he's finally fed up. But I think, Armin, that the thing that got to Donald Trump wasn't the mullahs dragging their feet like we knew they would. It was the threat of death, the threat of assassination. I think all of these, him seeing, thousands of Islamic Republic supporters having killed Trump posters, bounties, him hearing that there's a new Mexican cartel unit created from the IRGC to assassinate him. There's also some new articles that have come out now by the FBI that they have identified individuals that were actually planning to assassinate Trump, sleeper cells from the IRGC, who got found out and had to either leave the country or were arrested. I think all of this at the same time has gotten to him, and he's going to apply the maximum amount of pressure, and he's going to point at Ghalibaf and say, I am going to kill you if you don't hurry up. This is taking too long.
Yeah, I think you're referring to the news that the Israelis basically figured out a plot against the life of the President Trump, and that's actually more significant than all the signs that people are holding. So we have already seen since day one that many pro-regime Iranians are in the streets with banners, with signs saying that we want full revenge, assassinate President Trump, assassinate Bibi Netanyahu, but especially with Trump. And it keeps getting more and more. The demand keeps getting more and more and more, right? But again, that's just a wish. That's just a demand that the pro-regime people have for the regime. It's not an actual plan. But now what we have since today is the news that we actually have a plot designed by the regime itself that the Israelis gave to the Americans, which again, thank you. I already said this a couple of times today, but thank you, Israel. And every American should be thanking Israel, because this is information that only Israel will have access to. Because guys, I could guarantee you, within the room that they were making this plan, Israelis were sitting in that room, because Israel is in every important decision-making room within the Islamic Republic, because they have spies everywhere. They have infiltrated the Islamic Republic at the highest levels. This is a level of information that the Americans would not be able to gather themselves. This is only the type of information that Israel has access to, and Israel, without hesitation, shares it with the United States, with the Americans, which is very helpful for the United States to be able to protect your president. So you should be very grateful for the Israelis having this much intelligence capabilities in the Middle East and sharing it completely with the Americans, especially when it comes to being so important. Okay, but here's the thing, Ali. Why would the Islamic Republic even want to do that? Don't they know that if they're successful with this operation like this will just basically destroy them? Because you know that the Americans are going to come and rain, hell upon the Islamic Republic if anything like this is successful.
I've asked you that same question, and the answer that we seem to come to oftentimes is that the Islamic Republic doesn't seem to have a choice, and it doesn't seem to be planning for more than 2 weeks out at any given time. They don't have any sort of grand plan. For those of you thinking that the Islamic Republic has a grand plan, let me ask you, did their grand plan lead them for 47 years to this point? Was this their grand plan for the currency of Iran to depreciate 98% in value over the past 47 years? Mismanagement, mass murder, genocide. The US to come and destroy their $2 trillion nuclear program, take away its missiles and proxies. Was that the grand plan? They don't have any sort of plan. They're trying to survive at this point. And much less, there's a couple factions and they're trying to survive against each other, much less the entirety of the Islamic Republic put together. I try to rack my brains into what they could possibly do, and I constantly come short at what a solution is for them. If you were to ask me the same question 5 months ago, I would have an answer for you. If I was the Islamic Republic 5 months ago, I would have given up my uranium, I would have given up my ballistic missiles, and I would have held on to power for years after. But they can't. They just can't do it. For various different reasons, their hands are tied and they can't do it. And so now they're at this stage, and they have to keep on giving concessions now that the ceasefire is over, but the MOU still stands. They're going to keep on getting hit. So if we expect and if we see bombings tonight, should happen any minute now because we're live. We've been live for 20 minutes. This should be going on. That would point to that being true, to having maximum pressure being put onto them. If not tonight, then maybe tomorrow.
Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, I don't think from a strategic perspective, it makes sense for the Islamic Republic to give up its enriched uranium, stop supporting Hezbollah, and give up the Strait of Hormuz. It doesn't make that would be the end of them. Like you have to, like, if you see it from the perspective, imagine if you're the Islamic Republic, if you give up your enriched uranium, if you stop supporting Hezbollah and you allow Hezbollah to get disarmed, and if you allow the shipment of oil tankers to the Strait of Hormuz and give up on, basically remove any force that you could exert in the Strait of Hormuz, what do you think is going to happen, Ellie, after that, if you do that?
There is no Islamic Republic after that. The Islamic Republic has ceased to exist the second they give that up.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they just do that? It's okay, like, fine, no Islamic Republic, we stay in power. The reason why they won't do that is because Israel will look at the naked Islamic Republic. And if you're Israel, then you look at that, you're like, oh, okay, thank you so much for undressing them. What is stopping me right now to go and finish the job? Like, if the Islamic Republic, if Islamic Republic does these three things, it has zero deterrence capabilities, and they are completely vulnerable to Israel. And Israel is like, wow, okay, so you want me to now be kind and just hold back? Now that the Islamic Republic can't do nothing, I should just be like, okay, let me show mercy and not end them. Obviously, they're gonna go for the kill if you do that. So the Islamic Republic are like, okay, then I'm not gonna. Why would I give up all my deterrence capability? if I know Israel is going to finish the job once I do all of that, right? Also, one thing that people need to realize that we see all of these Durka people, jihadi people in the streets, like, revenge, 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 the blood of our supreme leader. And we're like, oh my God, these people are stupid, right? But here's the thing: the people who are funding them, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. Remember, the IRG, if the entirety of IRGC's source of funding and legitimacy comes from aggression with the West, comes from aggression with Israel. There is no IRGC legitimacy and isolationism and monopoly over industry and using the oil and gas of Iran to fund militarization of the IRGC if you don't have this philosophy. If there's any form of a deal or normalization of relationship with the West, then the whole point of IRGC and their source of legitimacy and funding will go out the window. Why would they? So this is a lot of people who have a lot of money and a lot of power within the system. They fund these people to go and like, the blood of our supreme leader, because their entire source of power and wealth depends on it. It depends on it. So they are, it's not just religious. I mean, religion is a tool here, but the goal and the strategy is always wealth and power. It always has been, and it will always will be. And Islam is the tool. The crowd, the masses of the Durka jihad people that you see on the ground, they are tools of the other people who are they're using them. They're using them. Okay. The Islamic Republic, here's when it comes to the assassination, okay? The reason why the Islamic Republic might be interested in putting a reward out there and go hire some Mexican cartels or do something like that, this to plan an attack on President Trump. You might think like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. If you do an assassination like that, they will come and destroy all of you. What are you thinking? That doesn't make any sense. Well, it does make sense. It actually does make sense, because the greatest threat right now to the Islamic Republic is the crisis of legitimacy. They're being destroyed from inside because they have no more fans and followers. Nobody believes in them. They need to, and most of that right now depends on the Islamic Republic demonstrating that they're doing something significant against President Trump. Okay, so here's what I would do if I was Ghalibaf. Okay, I would make a plan. I would make a plan to do such a thing against President Trump, but then I would make sure that I know that Israelis will figure this out and they will tell Americans, right? Because I don't want an actual assassination. I want the news that we're planning an assassination. Okay, I will make a plan. I will make sure it fails or it doesn't even go through, because I need this to get leaked so that my followers are like, ooh, they're doing something. Like, yes, we're doing something, but they're not going to do anything. Or even if they do something, Lior saying, don't give them ideas. Yeah, this would be the move. Don't you agree, Ali? This would be the genius move if I was Ghalibaf. I would make a plan against President Trump to do something like that. Again, I'm not saying it because YouTube might think I'm advocating for it. I'm not YouTube. I'm just telling what the Islamic Republic strategies is. Okay, we're against terrorism on this channel. Okay, I would make a plan and I would make sure it gets leaked so that it doesn't actually happen. But I wanted to be on the news that we were planning something like this. If I want to go further, I would go. If I wanted to make it even do something more serious, I would actually pay for the plan half up front. Okay, but then I would call the Americans. I will be if I'm Ghalibaf, I will call Trump. I'm like, hey, listen, these Durka jihadi people, radicals, they made a plan against your life. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you. I mean, I'm going to expose them. This is what they're planning. This is who they're planning it with, and this is how you can stop it. Okay, so look at this. I am helping Trump. Look at this. I'm helping. And this would be a win-win-win. A win would be that you actually show that to the pro-regime people that you're attempting. And one of these days we're going to be successful. This one didn't work, but you can see that we're actually doing something. So I'm going to try to appease the pro-regime people. I would try to appease President Trump. Look at President Trump. Look, there was a plan within the Islamic Republic. Somebody made a plan, and I exposed them so nothing happens to you. So I'm your guy. Okay. But that's the second one. The third one is that you don't have to pay the second half of the to the Mexican drug cartels. You paid half up front, but the plan was stopped because you exposed them to President Trump, and then you don't have to pay the other half. You save money, okay? But here's the thing: Mexican drug cartels. This is dangerous. Don't take this. Nobody should take this offer, because whoever takes this offer, the Islamic Republic, who pays you, they will sell you out because they're actually not interested in taking out President Trump. So they will sell you out. So don't take their offer. There we go.
Well, the reason why I was smiling so much is because you're actually right. And I have evidence. So today, what you said is actually correct, which is the same thing that I was thinking. And so I have some evidence for you regarding this. So let's go to the map real quick. So let's go into Tehran and see what we heard come out of today. So today, Ghalibaf, let's start with Ghalibaf's statement, okay? So Ghalibaf, this guy, the guy on the right there, was meeting with, I think it was like Indonesia's something minister. And he said, in my view, only those who are prepared for war can negotiate with the US. Before this war, NATO believed they could force us to surrender in just a few days, but they realized that that was not possible. Then he actually went on to say that we have to hold on. We have to be resilient and hold on. So again, forget about the revenge on the supreme leader. Let's just hold on to this. And also, at the same time, this news came out. According to an Israeli government source, the assassination plot that the Israelis figured out to eliminate President Trump was orchestrated by IRGC General Ahmad Vahidi. Armin, who would it be really convenient for if Vahidi's the one orchestrating this, as you were just saying?
I mean, if that is true, it would be very convenient for Ghalibaf to sell out.
But what you just said, maybe it doesn't even have to be true. Maybe it just has to get out there that Vahidi, according to the Israelis, maybe Ghalibaf, leaks something out. Maybe the Israelis genuinely think it was Vahidi. It doesn't even matter if it's true or not, if he was actually planning. As long as Trump believes it, as long as the Israelis are telling Trump that Vahidi is the one that it was orchestrating this entire operation to assassinate President Trump, that's it. And then you can, U.S. Ghalibaf are going to eliminate your biggest rival, who is Vahidi.
Who's the source of Who's the source of this news that this was Vahidi?
An Israeli source. They didn't say.
Okay, so we don't. Okay, but who's the source that says that this is an Israeli source? Because we have to.
The source for that is this person.
Yeah, I don't know if that's we shouldn't trust that.
Yeah. But even if it's, listen, is it far-fetched? Is it a reach, in your opinion?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible.
So this would definitely support what you were saying, and it would be in Ghalibaf's best interest if it's true that he was apologizing to the U.S. saying, hey, man, I can't control the hardliners here, the guy on the right there, then why not just say, get rid of them? They were trying to kill you, and they're hitting the ships. Could be a good idea to take them out if we do strikes. So that's just one theory.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I don't think Ghalibaf can successfully misrepresent what's happening within the Islamic Republic to President Trump. The reason why he can't do that is because the Israelis would know. The Israelis would know. And Israelis would do intelligence sharing with the Americans, right? Because Israelis are on the ground within the Islamic Republic. So if I was Ghalibaf, the best way to make this happen is to just make a genuine plan, knowing that the Israelis would know and tell President Trump.
Yeah.
And it will fail.
I also heard a lot of conflicting stuff. So Some
But
people
you
are
have to
saying when
make
the
it.
Israelis,
But you have to find a way for this not to come back to you, because then President Trump will take you out.
yeah. So I think the strategy that Ghalibaf went was he leaked something out there. The Israelis picked up on it through some official, legit channels in the IRGC. But then when I deep dove and found out what did the Israelis actually discover on the assassination plot, it turns out that the Israelis admitted the data that they had, the information was actually not much. They didn't know anything other than that there was an assassination plot, like a real one. That's it. That's all they knew. They actually didn't know for sure who it was. They didn't know any other
Yeah.
details of where it would happen or anything like that. They just told Trump that there was one. And that, I think, actually spooked him a little bit.
At what point do you think President Trump is going to be like, you know what, F it, let's just go on full?
Okay, so at what point? I think if the hardliners keep hitting more ships, because that'll directly tie into the oil reserves the world has. Ships have crawled back down to a staggering 20 ships passing by a day. That's like 10% of the regular traffic of the Strait of Hormuz. It doesn't bode too well. The strategic oil reserves of the United States. Sorry, what?
Why are the Brent prices are still very low though? It's still like, with all of this,
Yeah,
we're still below 80. We're still below 80.
I have an
Did you put a
explanation
count
for
here, by
that.
the way?
So I did, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because people
So I actually have an
confused.
explanation for that. So if we go down into Iraq, guys, last a few days ago, sorry, where am I lost? If we go back a few days ago on our stream, we told you that Saudi Arabia massively lowered their prices of oil. Today, we heard that Iraq also cut their prices of oil, specifically to China. They call it East Asia, so specifically to China. And so has Qatar. So all these countries are trying to lower their price of liquid natural gas and oil. Why economically? Why would you even need to do that? Because there's a lot of oil sitting on the ocean right now, waiting to be sold. There are hundreds of millions of barrels of oil right now that have not found buyers. They're just sitting there. That is why you need to lower the price of oil in the short term, because you can't find enough buyers for it. And China knows that if it just waits a little bit, the prices have to go down. It gets cheap oil and it buys it all up. It refines it all, then it sells it for a higher price. That's not so good for the US if China gets billions and billions and billions of dollars doing that. But at the same time, the US strategic oil reserves are only about 50 million barrels away from hitting a danger zone. And right now, these are the lowest. This is the lowest level. Oh, sorry. A couple of weeks ago was the lowest level. Right now, we've recovered a bit. We have a little buffer zone.
I mean, shouldn't the U.S. sold a lot of its own oil at really high prices, and now that the prices are low, shouldn't it be able to just buy it back at a lower price and make a profit and refill its reserves anyways? Seems like a good.
Yeah, so it should be able to.
They sold their reserves at high prices. They could buy back at low and make a killing.
Yeah, so the only problem with that is that most of the ships carrying this oil are actually sitting here. They're sitting in this area, and they're waiting to sell it to China in particular. So it looks like maybe China secured some sort of agreement with them, and the ships haven't really been heading over here to go to the US. They're just waiting here around Malaysia.
They just go to whoever's buying. I'm pretty sure whoever buys,
they can, yeah. Yeah, so that would be great if that happened. That'd be great, but it looks like those companies are leaning more towards China at the moment. But if things change, that'd be great.
So why are U.S. oil reserves so low, given that they sold all of that at high prices, and now at lower prices they could just buy them back? Let me actually check that.
So while you do that, let me show you guys what happened to the UAE today. So here in Abu Dhabi, we have a big piece of news for the United States. Today, the United States, make this bigger for you guys, the United States has designated the United Arab Emirates, as of a few hours ago, as a major defense partner. So UAE just got bumped up to like UK, France, Germany level status in terms of defense. Why? Because of the ongoing US UAE military partnership. The ongoing US UAE military partnership. Guys, this is a boring old document, but do you know what that means? Just think about it for a second. What do you mean ongoing military partnership? What did we just see last night? Was it Kuwait, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates? Maybe, could be. But we know that the UAE struck the Islamic Republic before in the past few months in March. The UAE is about to get, as a result of this, a ton of access to new weapons and a complete lift on their UAV, so drone basically, program. So now they can buy whatever drones they want from the US. They can get a bunch of certain satellites, spacecraft, new oil and gas production destinations, ton of new technology, nuclear power, anything you want. That's huge. So as a result of that, same time, there's another deal being made between the United Arab Emirates and the United States, or in the United States actually, because the US is going to give F-35s in the next 5 to 6 years to Turkey. Turkey just, sorry?
Wait, what did you say? Like, I was just researching something else. Turkey,
so
isn't
the
Turkey?
F-35s, yeah, so Turkey's going to get the F-30 verbally. This is verbally agreed to, that Turkey is going to get the F-35s in the next 5 to 6 years between the US officials and Erdogan.
I thought this needs Congress approval.
Actually, Trump said it doesn't. But hey, he's been finding so many loopholes. I'm not surprised at this moment. But the thing is, even if the F-35s are given, in terms of US interest, it doesn't hurt them. In the US interest, because the US will have a new 6th generation fighter that comes out by that time to maintain a competitive edge. But for Israel, that's not such good news, because they're going to lose a large portion of their aerial superiority when Turkey gets these 5th generation F-35s. But going back to the UAE, Turkey is going to sell the United Arab Emirates Russian missile launchers. I think they're called T-100s or T-300s. Turkey got these from Russia. They bought these from Russia exclusively. No one else has them. And now, this is interesting, guys. Turkey, that got exclusive Russian missile tech, is going to give it to a country that is now a strategic defense partner of the United States of America. The world is, what does it come to? On the same day, the UAE is elevated to the same status as like Germany, UK, France in terms of partnership, Canada. They're getting these exclusive rocket launchers from the Russians, basically through Turkey. So the UAE is going to bump up their military capabilities, or so their defense capabilities, by a huge portion, it seems like, in the years to come as a result of this. Now, I don't know what they really are giving back in return to the United States for all of this, but yeah.
What is UAE getting from Turkey? S-400?
So basically, look at this. So as of today, yeah, they're getting S-100, S-300. They're rocket launchers, they're missile launchers, like mobile missile launchers.
So S-300 is too old. That's what the Islamic Republic has. Are we talking about S-400s? That's their air defense.
It might be the 400s. It's here. Let's
so S-300s are last generation. That's what the Islamic Republic has.
S-400s, yeah, so it's S-400s.
S-400s. Okay. S-400s is the most. It's the latest generation of air defense that Russia has to offer. So you're saying UAE is getting S-400s?
Yes. UAE is going to, so Turkey said that if the sanctions on us are lifted so we can get the F-35s, we'll give the S-400s to UAE. We'll sell it to them.
We sell it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
Okay, regarding
So
F-35s,
yeah,
let me read this. Okay, President Trump recently suggested he will unilaterally lift sanctions and consider selling F-35s to Turkey, making it sound like an executive decision, though he didn't explicitly deny needing Congress. However, federal laws like the NDAA and the Arms Export Control Act dictate that Turkey cannot receive the jets while they own Russian missile systems, meaning Congress has the ultimate authority to approve. Okay, so them giving this to UAE will mean that they can get the F-35s, because
yes,
the reason why Congress would block this is because Turkey has Russian S-400s. So Turkey is going to be able
exactly,
to get around that and get Congress approval by giving up its S-400s to UAE.
exactly. So they don't need Congress approval. They can sell the launchers to UAE, which just became a major ally of the United States. And this seems to be the agreement. I'm just wondering, or this seems to be the agreement between Turkey, the US, and UAE. My question is, what did the UAE give? What is their role? Are they promising a
Money.
service? Are they giving up
Oh, they're buying it. They're
money?
giving money. Yeah, money.
Well,
They're
of course
buying it.
they're buying it, but it's not like, the hundreds of millions are going to be something that the US needed. It's They needed something for the UAE to do, for them to elevate the UAE to such a strong extent. It could be rewarding them
I mean,
for the
UAE is
Abraham Accords.
cooperating. Is like they're part of the Abraham Accord. They're like cozying up with Israel. So that's why I think they're getting like that's what's happening. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah. So
So
here,
we're seeing
look at this. Turkey is officially offloading its Russian S-400 missile system to a Persian Gulf country, likely the UAE, with Moscow's blessing. This strategic transfer fulfilled the strict legal requirements of U.S. law, ensuring Turkey no longer possesses the controversial weapons and paving the way for the U.S. to lift sanctions and sell them F-35 jets. That's how they're going to get Congress's approval.
There we go. So
Okay, so this is bad news because now we're talking about a Turkey that has F-35s. That's not good.
so it's bad news for Israel. It's good news for the U.S. It's generally bad news for everyone in the Middle East. It only serves the U.S. interest here.
Wait, how does this serve the U.S. interest?
So Turkey is one of the few countries that could come to Putin's aid in any sort of way, and it's also close there. And they have helped the Russian Federation in some back channels for a long time. Trump's strategy is to get Turkey to be in the orbit of the U.S. more than it is in the Russian Federation's orbit, and to actually actively go against Russia in the future. So they're promising them this tech, the F-35s, to get them more on their side, which is why the S-400s are going to the UAE in particular. But again, not very good. I mean, the US's interest is we can get more allies in the Middle East. We already have Israel. The US
Turkey is in. This doesn't make any sense to me because Turkey is already in NATO and it's aggressively against another NATO member like Greece. So just bringing them into your orbit, that doesn't mean they're not going to backstab you, right?
Yep. I don't personally trust Turkey any bit.
So I'm saying the US benefits from this deal by pulling Turkey back into NATO's orbit away from Russia, while simultaneously injecting billions of dollars into the American defense industry. However, the US must still navigate major pushback from regional allies like Greece and the ongoing risk of Russian radar systems operating near American jets in the UAE. Oh my God. Trading the S-400 for F-35 secure Turkey as a heavily armed Western ally, but it threatens to create new regional tensions in the Middle East and the Mediterranean. God damn it. God damn it.
US benefits, they get a closer ally in the Middle East. Everyone in the Middle East suffers, including Israel. But the US has Israel as an ally. Now they'll just get Turkey as a closer ally. Doesn't hurt them.
They will also have leverage over Israel because they're not completely relying on Israel in the Middle East.
And which is why Netanyahu came out yesterday at the Air Force Academy graduation and gave a speech saying, the next 10 years, we're going to have our own weapons and industrial industry for war. We're going to bump up our munitions productions, make our own weapons, make the IDF bigger, etc. He's preparing for this. He knew that this would happen. It looks like, a couple days, maybe a couple weeks before it happened, because we got the news today that the UAE is doing this, that Turkey's selling, and all of that. So, of course, BB knew before. Of course.
Having S-400s in the UAE means like the Russians have to service it. That means that the Russians will have radar information around that entire area, which is another bad thing.
That actually could be very true because these S-400s are unused. So it's not like Turkey had the personnel to or maybe they do. I don't know.
Here's good news. I have good news. Here, look at this. Despite the proposed S-400 loophole, the likelihood of Congress approving the F-35 sale to Turkey is currently very low due to fierce bipartisan opposition and concerns over regional stability. Lawmakers have already begun introducing resolutions to block related arms transfers, meaning the administration faces a massive legislative battle to push this through. So even without the S-400s in their hand, the Congress is going to be like, yeah, we don't like Turkey getting F-35s. So this is what Texas was saying in that chat. Yeah.
I personally think that Trump's going to push hard for it. I do think Turkey's going to get the F-35s. I think to even out that playing field, though, even though technically Turkey getting the F-35s is evening it out, I think that Israel, when the next generation fighter comes out, will receive a similar model like the F-35. It's like A1. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not good with the names of this different tech, but Israel has a slightly worse version of the F-35. The US has the best version. The next generation fighter jet comes out, Israel's going to get the same thing, just a little bit worse. Turkey's not going to get the new one. It makes sense for me, if I'm the head of the US and I'm planning long term, it makes sense for me to do that. Israel's a closer ally. I pulled Turkey closer to me instead of Russia. Ukraine finishes off Russia. We're chilling. We go focus on China. So let's get back into the map and see. We jumped around a little bit, which is good. We got some things covered. Let me see what I was missing here. So,
but guys, we will read your. Yeah, we got a lot of super chats. We're not ignoring them. We will get to them. But go on, Ali.
Yeah, we're not ignoring them. Okay, so before we get into the internal politics of the Islamic Republic, we'll read the super chats, and before that, I need you guys to see what is going on with the United States Navy. Okay, this is what's going on. Take a look at this image and make it bigger. You guys might want to look at this. This is the southern coast of Iran. This is the Gulf of Oman, the Arabian Gulf, ties into the Persian Gulf, all that. These are the two U.S. carriers, the USS Abraham Lincoln, USS George H.W. Bush. They're roughly 150-ish miles, 180-ish miles off the coast of the Islamic Republic. But they're positioned again, and actually the USS Abraham Lincoln is literally doing donuts. I'm not even kidding you. They're doing donuts in a circle. Caught on satellite, caught on camera. I'm not just saying that. But they're positioning themselves to reinstate the blockade. If the blockade is reinstated, the MOU is over with. But it hasn't been reinstated yet. Trump's patience is very, very low, and he has given the order for the ships to position themselves to reinstate the blockade. We just have to wait for him to actually give the final order and we can know that the MOU is done with. I'm looking forward to that day.
Yeah, that would be I mean, isn't the MOU already over?
No, actually, the ceasefire is over. The MOU is still going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't the point
Trump's
of the
words, not mine.
Yeah, okay, but isn't the point of MOU to have a ceasefire? What is the okay? If there is no ceasefire, but we have the MOU, what is the point of an MOU? What does the MOU? What is the MOU doing then?
What's the point of talking to these backwards barbarians in the first place? I mean,
no. But what is the MOU doing? If anything,
no, I understand. Yeah. I'm completely with you. It's just a farce. Why are you? The ceasefire is over, but like, let's still talk. Wait, didn't you ceasefire to talk? So what do you mean the ceasefire is over and you're?
I mean, to be fair to President Trump, he did put talks in quotations. You saw that post. Did you see the quote? Those are the most important air quotes, quotations in history. It's like good talk. Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you asking, how do I know the MOU isn't over? It's because tomorrow JD, Wyckoff, and Kushner are going to meet Arachi, and they're going to talk in Oman. That's the plan.
No, they're not going to. No, Ali. No. Let's be accurate here. They're not going to talk. They're going to talk. Okay, let's be accurate. President, talk.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yes.
I just want to. I don't know. Can't there be like there must be a lot of yelling, There's no physical fights that break out. It's.
Ooh, I have physical fights. Do you want physical fights?
Yeah. Right before we get there, the last piece of news that's tied into this is that guys, grain of salt, this is Axios. Axios is quoting a senior U.S. official in the White House today who has been saying there are plans now that are ready if an agreement isn't reached with the Islamic Republic. So if we don't talk about the nuclear, which apparently they're going to now, they're going to push for it super hard. There's plans ready to us. So again, doesn't really mean much. It's coming from Axios. We've heard it before, but I just want to remind you guys of the thought of it. So what'd you have? Physical fights?
Oh, well, it's a bit physical. We're getting more physical. So here, let's get physical. Okay, so this was last night was the last night of the funeral, right? The day that they buried.
Sorry, can I ask? Is this the fist fight that broke out on stage?
No, that's something else.
Okay.
That's the second video I have. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Look at this. Okay. So it's kind of small. So there's a red line around here. And this, by the way, this is from media from inside Iran. Okay. This is like the so-called reformist media. Okay. But watch this. Did you see it?
No, I think it's too small.
Okay, let me explain. Hold on. Let me see if I could do, if we go here and then go like this, then add this. Maybe this is bigger. Okay, you see it? You see it? Okay, you guys could hear us, right? Okay, here. Okay, so let me explain. You see this guy over here? This guy over here, okay? He's raising his fist and he's chanting, okay? Somebody shows up. You saw he put his hand down and he puts his hand on his mouth. Make him shut. Like this security shows up and takes him out and he blocks his mouth. You see? So there's the guy with his arm up chanting. And you know what these are? You see, this is at Ali Khamenei's funeral. You guys can see it, right? Okay, you see this guy? You see somebody comes in? Oh my God, here, let me show you.
Is that a plainclothes?
No, that's security. The security comes, puts his hands on his mouth, and pushes them back. Oh, see? Fine Stars is saying. Oh, shit. He was chanting against Ghalibaf and Pezeshkian and stuff like that. Right? So this is not allowed. Okay, you see the censoring? Okay, you guys saw what I yeah. Okay, so
They used to
there's
do that
that.
to us.
Yes. So basically, deaf to the appeasers, deaf to the deaf to the compromisers kind of chat. That's what was being silenced during Ali Khamenei's funeral. But while the Ali Khamenei's funeral was being broadcasted live on TV, something happened that it couldn't be censored anymore. Okay, look at this. This was being played live on state TV and the last day of Ali Khamenei's funeral in Mashhad. And then something, well, the guy, you have the religious vocalist basically saying their nonsense, and then somebody comes and grabs the microphone. Okay. And then something happens. So let me play this. And then they go back. So see, he was singing the religious nonsense, and then
that's so funny. I was about to tell you, can we mute it? Because I thought it was going to be a visual, and then the guy literally gets punched in the face and he can't talk anymore. So that's great.
No, he comes and grabs the mic. Listen to this. So you know what he's saying?
Did he say Azman Aqab Bion?
No, he says Nakhun Agha biyar. Nakhun Agha biyar. So he's crying. So one of these Durka jihadi people during Ali Khamenei's funeral comes and grabs the microphone, and he says in a crying voice, and this was broadcasted on state TV in Iran. He says, Nakhun Agha biyar, which is crying like, stop singing, bring our Lord. Bring her, like, where is Mushtaba? Basically, bring Mushtaba. Right?
He's dead too.
Where he's like, stop singing, just bring our Lord here. Like, listen, guys, listen. We were playing this on our Persian show to Iranians, and we played this so many times because this is one of those people who celebrates our death. And look at the way that they're crying. Look at the devastation in his voice for not seeing Mushtaba. This guy wants to see Mushtaba. He's like, he's saying, where is Mushtaba? Just bring him here. Stop singing. Bring Mushtaba to us. Bring our Lord. Yeah, cry harder, Durka. Exactly. Listen to this. And now they got the microphone away from him. See?
I think he wants to do a little.
Okay, what did you say?
I think he wants to do a little bit more than just see Mushtaba, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like, bring Mushtaba, bring him, bring my supreme leader.
Where is he?
Apparently, that was
holding it back. But that level of this, but that was the voice of many of these pro-regime people. They are so lost. They have no supreme leader. There is no supreme leader, and they don't know who to believe anymore. Guys, when Ali Khamenei, these people, let me tell you how devastating this is for these people, okay? When Ali Khamenei was alive, everybody in their mind, this person is yapping, that person is yapping. We don't know what to believe. Everybody is saying something. But then Ali Khamenei will come and give us a sermon, and they will all be like, okay, that's what we have to believe. We now thank you. Thank you for having us. We're so grateful to have a supreme leader, because when in doubt, look at what our Lord is saying. Look at what Agha is saying, right? Now they're lost. They're completely lost. They don't know what's happening. They don't have a supreme leader to come and tell them that it's going to be okay, that this is what's happening. This is what you're supposed to believe. They're kind of like a sheep without a shepherd. And they feel like they're like lost in the wilderness without a guide, without anybody to show them the way. And that's why they have never experienced this. They don't know what to do with themselves because you have Ghalibaf, you have Araghchi, you have Mir Bagheri saying something, you have Sabiti, you have Rasoi, and they're all fighting with each other. You're like, what is that? Like, I don't know what you guys are. Where is my leader? Like, where is our leader? Where is our supreme leader? That's the person that I need to listen to. And they very much feel like they're just been like just like sheep just left in the middle of the wilderness without anybody to tell them which direction to go.
So people of the Paidari camp, Sabiti and Jalili, have come out and said things. Also, the grandson of the first supreme leader has also come out and said things. But not all of this is helping Ghalibaf. It's not helping these Durka supporters. So let me show you this video, Armin, about what Jalili was saying today. Last night in Mashhad. After the funeral was over, he went and had a speech. What could this mean? Let me stream this for you. There it is. So guys, we're about to get some interpretation on where the regime supporters are going to be directed to. Where are all these couple million super Durka people? What are they going to be told?
Is that Jalili speaking?
Yes.
So pause. So everybody, guys, Jalili is the most important politician within the Paidari camp. So the people who are here, they're hoping Jalili will tell them like, yes, we're going to go for full revenge. And what they're chanting right now is like, they're saying, what is our chant? Revenge. What is our chant? Revenge. So now... yeah. Okay, Ali, you should do more Durka, but I want to see the Durka version of Ali. Yeah. Okay. So now we'll see what Jalili is going to say about revenge. The revenge.
چرا این فریاد بزرگ رو ملت ما بیان میکنه؟ ملت دفاع از حقوق خودش رو میخواد. اگر شما میگویید ما باید فلان حقوقمون رو کنن، اموالمون رو آزاد کنیم، بزرگترین دارایی ملت ما رهبری عزیزش بود. امروز حق این ملت دفاع از این جایگاه، از این سرمایه بزرگ با انتقام است و وظیفه مسئولین پیگیری اینه. انتقام حق ملت و وظیفه مسئولینه. باید این رو پیگیری کنن.
Wow. Okay, so he's pouring gasoline on fire.
He's not supposed to be doing. I mean, he's kind of not supposed to be doing that, and he kind of is supposed to be doing it.
So, guys, he's saying that it is the response. This is the right of the people to want revenge, and it's the responsibility of the officials to get revenge. So he's doubling down on needing revenge for the killing of Ali Khamenei. So this is the main, guys. The entirety of the internal politics of the Islamic Republic has now been focused on revenge for Ali Khamenei. So a lot of the focus is now moving. Just a few weeks ago, most of these focus was like, don't let go of the Strait of Hormuz, don't abandon Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now the main conversation is putting pressure on the Ghalibaf camp when it comes to with demanding them that they get revenge.
Here's the interesting part, guys. I know I hate I hate these people's guts. I hate listening to them, but I have one clip that I need Armin to listen to, and it's just 1 minute. I'm really sorry in advance. Can I not share media player?
So, guys, Jalili hasn't been bought out by Ghalibaf yet. Or maybe we'll see. That is, guys, everything is now within the Islamic Republic among the pro-regime Iranians is now divided on should we get revenge now or should we get revenge later, right? So nobody's saying we shouldn't get revenge, but the Ghalibaf camp is like, guys, one day, inshallah, one day we will get revenge, right? But not now. You have to be patient. But then the other camp is like, screw you. They killed our supreme leader. If you don't come up with a great response now, then you're the enemy.
Yeah. So listen to this. Jalili goes on TV after. Okay, so he went on TV today after he gave that speech, and he said this. I want you to tell me if this is significant. He's speaking in a more convoluted way, trying to convey a message. So I actually wasn't completely sure.
دنیا اذعان دارد باطل‌ترین جبهه در برابر ایران ایستاده، در برابر جبهه حق ایران. اینجا چه چیز نقطه پیروزی است؟ چه چیز پیروزی رو رقم میزند؟ اون تاباوری است که ملت ما با همه توان نشون داده. تاباوری شاید اگر بخوایم تعبیر قرآنیشو بیان کنیم اون صبره. صبر حضرت آقای شهید ما بارها بیان فرمودن صبر متوقف شدن نیست، صبر ایستادن نیست که حالا ببینیم چه میشود، صبر عقب نشستن نیست، صبر جزع و فزع نیست. این رو حضرت امام در کتاب عقل و جهل بیان میفرمایند، میگن صبر از جنود عقل، جزع و فزع از جنود جهله. اگه کسی باستاد و جزع و فزع کرد آی نشد و نداریم و اینا، نه این نمیست. صبر چیست؟ حضرت آقا ترجمه فارسی که بیان میفرمودن آقای شهید این بود که صبر یعنی خسته نشدن. ملت ما امروز اینو داره نشون میده. شما تو همین یه هفته گذشته ببینید دنیا از آن.
Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. Ghalibaf got him. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And I labeled why is that doing that? Okay.
It's over.
So guys,
Ghalibaf is taking over. They got him.
So that's why I labeled this Jalili plays two sides, and I had to download that video. Actually took me a while to get to because I had to go to like Islamic Republic state media websites. I had to like try and clip stuff.
But let me explain to people though.
Yeah, guys, let Armin explain. Please listen to this. This affects millions of regime supporters and what they're being told and what direction they're going. So listen to this.
So let me give you a short version of it before we go into more detail, okay? Yeah, this is fine, stars. You're right. This is not good for us. This means that they're all getting on the same page. They're getting on the same page. So guys, Jalili, which is the most important politician and the most Durka jihadi radical, Islamic part of the Islamic Republic, he comes and is talking about, I don't think he even is doing both sides. He's like, yes, revenge, we should get revenge. It is our right, and it's the responsibility of the officials to get revenge. But then he comes on state TV and he talks about the virtue of patience. Ooh, guys, what does patience mean in the chat? Patience means like we're not gonna do shit. Sorry, I don't want to
the supreme leader.
Patience means like we're not gonna do anything. Patience was like, inshallah, one day. I mean, that's not what he's saying, but that's what I'm hearing. He's like, let me tell you about patience and the meaning of the word patience Islamically. And then he goes into the Islamic meaning of patience doesn't mean this, it doesn't mean that. He says, you know what he says, Ali? He says, patience doesn't mean nagging about why this is not happening here, this is not happening over there, about like not having hope. Patience is about the wisdom of having the tolerance to keep going and being strong. So basically means that you need to stay strong for a long time, even if nothing happens. Nothing happens.
And Armin,
This to me,
Who is the first guy to say
translation
that?
is that. To me, the translation of all of this is like, we're not gonna get revenge for the supreme leader anytime soon. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
And Armin, who was saying that first?
Who was saying that first? Ghalibaf.
Ghalibaf.
Ooh, you're right. This is basically, he's sounding a lot like Ghalibaf now. Everybody is sounding like Ghalibaf. They're submitting to they're trying to submit to the Americans. Wow.
Not even 24 hours before.
Flying so close to the sun. Hopefully one day his wings will burn out and fall, but he's really high up there right now.
So slowly, and I was saying this a few weeks ago, slowly Ghalibaf, by becoming the person at the top, is actually making people rely on him, because his statements are so like 180 degrees different than before. All of these people, like the Paidaris and other factions, are having to change their words that they've never would have said before. And now that they're changing their words and all relying on Ghalibaf, Ghalibaf has to take the wheel and he has to direct everyone. That's a point of weakness for all of this to be concentrated in one man. But also, isn't it interesting that in Mashhad, in the religious mosque, he's saying that, and then boom, goes on state media, not even 24 hours later.
Is that a contradiction? He's like, yes, let's be angry. Let's get, he's redirecting the anger. And he's, what he's doing is like, yes, guys, I'm angry like you too. We should get revenge. Also, we should be patient, and we should be continuously be this angry for the next couple of years, because this might take longer than you think. But yes, revenge, even if it takes 10 years. But yes, for sure, revenge. So, yes. Oh my God. So he wants to act like he's not being moderate. Well, like he doesn't want to act like, yes, he tries to show to them that I am as aggressively pro-revenge as you guys, okay? And guys, this might take longer than we think. That's what he's doing. Amazing.
Look at what Sabati's saying, another member of the Paidari camp.
Okay, Ali, you need to send me these. These are good for Ali.
Okay.
First of all, fantastic job. Fantastic job. Good finds. Okay, what is Sabati saying?
Kill Trump. Kill him now. Do it.
Let me read it. یکی از طرح‌های خوبی که توسط نمایندگان در سیستم مجلس ثبت شده تا به قانون تبدیل شود، طرح انتقام از ترامپ و سایر سران جنایتکار آمریکای رژیم صهیونیستی است. امیدوارم طبق وعده‌ای که داده شده از این هفته مجلس کارش رو شروع کنه و این طرح مهم جزو اولویت‌های دستور کار مجلس پس از 5 ماه تعطیلی. Oh my God!
Let's vote on it. Let's vote
it's
on
like
it.
They're passing a law. They're like, oh, we now have a suggestion for a law to be passed for getting revenge from Trump. So, guys, this is going into a bureaucratic process of like, so he's saying like, guys, we have a good plan here for the members of parliament to pass a law for getting revenge from Trump and other criminals of the United States and the Zionist regime. I'm hoping that based on the promises that have been made from this week, the parliament starts working on this plan, of this important plan, and prioritize this as part of the, so the parliament is opening up after 5 months of it being closed. So he's hoping that as soon as the parliament is open, this becomes one of the priorities to pass a law to get revenge for President Trump. Okay, so they're gonna, this is turning into a bureaucratic process. So instead of throwing bullet, instead of like basically going out for revenge, they're going to basically be sitting around and talking about it and vote on it and pass resolutions on it. and they're gonna keep people busy, guys. Like, look, like, where's our revenge, guys? We're talking, we're passing laws. Look at this, is important. We're making progress.
Was it
Look
this
at
piece
this
of
piece of
paper?
paper.
Was it that file?
Yes, we
I
have
don't know where it
papers, we
was.
have a resolution, we have a
It's
statement
somewhere
over here. We're moving so much. Like, this is the revenge that you were hoping for, right? That's what they're doing. Oh my god.
So they want to. So this is Sabati, a member of parliament and an influential figure in the Paidari camp, from the same guy that we just saw, and he is pushing along the same narrative. Let's just bury. So the people want revenge on the supreme leader. Okay, let's do it. Let's just bury it under a mountain of paperwork and voting and bureaucracy and all of that, so we can say that we're working on it, but it's never going to go anywhere. Forget about it.
Yes, we're doing something, guys. You want revenge? We passed the resolution! Yay!
But then we have this expired, fossilized, decaying, decrepit, backwards barbarian. So this is the grandson of the first supreme leader of the Islamic Republic, Khomeini. He had a speech today in Qom, which is the religious capital of Iran. And he said, those who chant death to America and demand vengeance for the blood of the supreme leader shouldn't be labeled as extremists. Our zeal, our religious fervor shouldn't allow us to sit at homes and do nothing when Trump lives and walks and laughs. Anyone in the Islamic Republic, any of you officials, any of you who don't think that avenging the supreme leader should happen must question their own conscience. Could this be the mullahs, the religious class, not being on board? The political class looks like they're on board with Ghalibaf. The mullah class, the turbans, seem to be dragging their feet. This guy should know better than saying that, if he's Khomeini's grandson, in my opinion. What do you think?
Wait, so Ali Khomeini, the grandson of the founders, said during his speech at the Shrine of Fatwa, those who chant death to America and demand vengeance for the blood of their leader should not be labeled as extremists. I mean, this is just a nonsense that just people say. Like, this is just a standard thing.
Can we write off the mullahs finally? Can we write off the turban class? Because right now they have the least amount of power they've ever had.
So the turban class, here's the thing, the turban class is not an actual turban class. When we talk about the turbans, we're talking about the people within the Beit Rahbari, the office of the supreme leadership, whether they have a turban or not. If you have a turban, it doesn't necessarily show which one of these segments of the Islamic Republic you belong to, right? Because you could have a turban on and be like, I don't know, you could be like Rasoi, which is part of the Paidari camp, or you could have a turban and you could be like Rouhani, who is part of the so-called reformers camp. And like Rasoi, which is part of the Paidari camp, is completely at the opposite end of somebody like Rouhani, and they both have turbans. So having a turban doesn't make you part of the same camp. When we were categorizing different parts of the Islamic Republic, we called the Supreme Leadership Office the turbans because we're talking about the top turban, which is the Supreme Leader. But you could be a turban wearing part of the Paidari camp. You could be a turban wearing part of the Supreme Leadership Office. You could be turban wearing and be part of IRGC, like Taib, for example, Saint Taib. You could be turban wearing and part of the suits, even, right? Even though you wear a turban, you could be a turban wearing and part of the so-called reformers camp. So turban wearing people come in all sorts of sects or camps, right?
Let's go with the religious leaders.
Again, the religious leaders could be
okay.
Again, the religious leaders could belong in different camps, right?
So what you're saying,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is that right now the political figures have more of a weight and pull than the speakers at the mosques.
Okay, so the speakers of the mosque, what depends on who you're talking about. Are you talking about the Imam Jum'ah, the Friday prayer imams, because they are directly picked by the Supreme Leadership Office, okay? Or are like the official government mosques in each province, right? Or are you talking about private mosques? Okay, so there are many mullahs who are just basically your religious influencers, right? So, for example, a mullah that is a part of the state's mosque that has been officially picked by the office, the Supreme Leadership Office, they have different allegiances from a mullah that is a, you know, that is a private, that is basically the imam of a private mosque. So again, you can't put these all the people. So so there's a difference between a mullah that is part of the regime and a mullah that is not part of the regime, right? There's a difference between a mullah that is part of the Hosea Ilmiya Qom, that sees like that are a challenge to the supreme leadership sometimes, than the mullahs that have been officially picked and sponsored by the Supreme Leadership Office. Depends on the mullah that you're talking about. I mean, again, we're getting into too much detail here, but do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, I do get it. Okay, so basically, it doesn't matter what these people say. It doesn't matter if the grandson of Khomeini comes out and says something that's slightly or moderately, even strongly against Ghalibaf. It doesn't matter what he says. He doesn't have any sort of.
This guy is not saying
weight.
that. Like, this guy is not saying anything significant here. So our zeal does not allow us to sit at home while the killers.
Well, read that last part.
Okay. Any official who sleeps and does not think of avenging our leader must question their own conscience. Yeah, but again, we have to see that what's your solution, because a lot of people, everybody says this. Even Ghalibaf says this. Ghalibaf are like, yeah, we have to get revenge. We all want revenge, of course. Ghalibaf cried about it. Ghalibaf cried about wanting revenge on camera, right? There's not a single person within the regime that thinks that that doesn't say we need to get revenge. The difference is some people are saying like, so this is how they separate themselves. There's some people who say we need revenge and we need it yesterday, and the only form of acceptable revenge is by seeing Trump dead or something like that, right? Or the destruction of Israel, something like that. And then there are other people that say, yes, we need revenge, and inshallah, one day this will happen, and we need to be planning this, and this will be a long-term plan, right? So this is the division. But nobody, like almost nobody is coming out and saying we shouldn't want revenge. That's the distinction here, right?
Yeah, I understand. I understand that much better now. So doesn't really matter. If we hear things like, oh yeah, we should get revenge, doesn't matter as long as we wait.
Yes. So the distinction is how and when. Okay. Everybody's going to say, because if you say, because who within the Ali, who on the right mind from the regime will come and say, nope, no revenge. They killed their supreme leader and we're not going to do anything about it. Like that would be the last. Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say that
publicly.
Yeah. Yes.
Publicly, yeah. Publicly won't say that. So actually in the IRGC group chats, they are saying that. A lot of them are saying that. They're like, look at what state you've dragged the country into. I have to spend all my money buying food, and I'm behind on rent, this and that. The US is bombing my country. I don't get to do anything. What are you talking about? Revenge? Shut up. Shut up about revenge. Fix my situation. But they can't really come out and like say it. Like anonymous people can say it, but Texas troop, what very hardliner? Hardliners want is to strike now and to create chaos in Hormuz, but Ghalibaf and those RGC guys behind him are smarter and they want chaos just before midterms. So can you clarify they want chaos before midterms? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, they want their leverage that they have, they think that they have. So he's right. By the way, Gandalf is 100% correct, right? So Ghalibaf wants to, give in to President Trump, but he also doesn't want to. He also wants to show President Trump that I have some leverage over you, right? Because you are desperately trying not to have any tension before the midterms, and you need to give me what I want, or else I could cause chaos before the midterms. So some people within the Islamic Republic think that given that President Trump is very eager not to have any conflict before the midterms, maybe we could pressure him to give us a more favorable, deal by telling him that we have this leverage over him, that we do have the power to start this before the midterms. And I think President Trump wants to show them, I really don't care. Like, that would be the smart thing for President Trump to do, to try to convince these people that actually, if you want to go, I can go, right? Like, you want to go now? You want to go now? We can go now. So that would be what President Trump has to do to Ghalibaf people. Like, you don't have much. You don't actually have leverage over me. I can go now if you want to. Like, you want to go? You really want to go? Because we could go. Right? So that's what he's saying.
Two leaders. We have Donald Trump. We have Ghalibaf. We count these guys as the two leaders of the opposing sides here. Both leaders have people under them pressuring them. They are under pressure. Every leader is. They both have to gain leverage over each other, but there is no clear line at which they can, how close can we get without actually kicking things off fully. Trump now has to hit them hard enough, or hit them in a way that they would understand that they have no leverage. And Ghalibaf has to claw at things and do things, pull some strings, use some people to show Trump that Ghalibaf has leverage over Trump for the midterms. So this is a slippery line here. It's a slippery slope. Where do you see the start and finish line? You don't really, in my opinion.
I think that many people within the Islamic Republic, even on Ghalibaf's side, are convinced that President Trump is bluffing, that every time he comes out and says, like, oh, ceasefire is over, a lot of them are convinced like he's bluffing. He doesn't want to do anything, right? And President Trump's challenge right now is to find a way to convince the regime people that he's not bluffing, right? That they have to be careful, because if he goes out, like, he has to find a way to show Ghalibaf people that if they start this is going to be devastating.
What language? There's two languages that the Islamic Republic understands: money and guns, violence. It looks like he just did violence for 2 nights in a row. Frankly, in my opinion, nowhere near enough. And we'll get to that in a second, actually. There's more to those strikes that he just did this week. But then there's also the economic pressure. So they just revoked the oil license. They put some new sanctions on. Again, not enough for me at the moment. But if it ramps up, we'll find out where the breaking point of the Islamic Republic is. At what point do they come to the table? It looks like Trump's trying to slowly find that. I'm more of a proponent of, hey, just if you have to erase that line and put it 100 feet in front of you, do it, as long as you find it immediately.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
Here's the thing, though. Whatever happens, Trump might be bluffing, but if he is bluffing, then if he gets, there's 3 M's here, right? Yeah. The midterms, the munitions, and the markets, right? These are the 3 barriers for President Trump to go all out on these people. Enough munitions to, especially missile interceptors, the midterms, and the markets, right? So there's 2 of these things that the markets seem to be not, the markets are flooded with oil. So the markets barrier obstacle, it doesn't seem to be that much of an obstacle. The midterms, at some point, we're going to pass the midterms. It's true that the Democrats after that might want to stop President Trump, but we'll see how successful they're going to be with that. But the munitions, at some point, they're going to be able to restockpile enough to go back at this again. So the Islamic Republic has to be like, imagine if you have like a very, hungry lion wanting to go at you behind a cage, and this cage is at some point this gate is going to open, and what you're doing is you just keep poking at it, right? But this gate is going to open at some point. So if you keep poking at it, once that gate opens, once these 3Ms stop being an obstacle, then I don't know. Like you have to figure out a way to think about what you're going to do then. And I don't think the Islamic Republic has much of a plan for what to do then.
Completely agreed. So the oil thing is actually much more slippery than we think. There's oil right now. How long is it going to last? I don't know. I think China is going to pull some pressure tactics by buying a bit more than it should. They did cut their demand by 10-20%, which is why they've been able to survive. But if they raise their demand back up to what it was before the war, and they buy up a lot more oil as well, that might be an issue for oil prices here. But moving on from that, guys, if we look at what the strikes achieved the past few nights, they bombed the entirety of the southern coast of Iran. So that's roughly 1,700 kilometers. And let me get that into miles for you guys. Kilometers to miles. So that's 1,056 miles. So that's basically half of the United States. So they bombed an area that spans half the United States in the past couple of nights, and they hit it a couple hundred times. They hit the most strategic, important positions. They hit the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th fleet bases of the Islamic Republic Navy. They hit Air Force, airfields. They hit a couple of pieces of infrastructure, like nuclear power plants. But the important part is that all of the islands, all of the bases, every lookout point, like Sirik, where they launch missiles into the Strait of Hormuz and has an elevated position to easily shoot it, all of these things got hit really hard, massive explosions that we saw. What's the significance of that? Why would you be hitting all of the bases there, everywhere from Ahvaz to Chabahar, the entirety of the south coast, if you weren't planning or preparing for something bigger? With the USS Boxer on its way carrying 3,000 Marines, taking that ship away from the Pacific theater to deter China is more, in my opinion, more of a threat. It's a threat of real action that they will probably conduct in varying capacities at some point in the future. That's what I believe. I believe that these were preparation strikes, and we'll see probably more of them if they choose to act with the Boxer. That's just one of their options that they're keeping open. So that's regarding the strikes. We have some super chats to read. So, Shir Hamid has become a YouTube member, I think, for both of our channels. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Shir Hamid.
Yeah, Shir means, guys, Shir in Farsi means many different things. It means lion. It means milk. It means faucet. What else we got? Shir. Shira Ab.
Brave.
Yeah, Shira Ab. Yeah, brave.
Shir's
yeah, we got a lot.
But here, obviously, here it means lion because of the picture.
Yeah. Thank you. And Justin saying, I need my alien armament fix. Let's freaking go. America.
America. F yeah. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin. And Fleshy Interloper saying MAU, not MOU. Let the Marines work. Navy failed. Navy didn't fail. Navy's doing a great job. Fleshy, I know you didn't mean that.
No.
Or unless you were in the Army and then you said the Navy failed, then I understand. But also thanks, Fleshy, for reminding me as well, just like always. And Maya saying thanks to the person who gifted the membership. Oh. That would be, well, Maya, that would be Nail Bunny.
Nail Bunny,
probably,
thank you.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Gifted
Cause.
5 Liberty Politics memberships.
Thank you. And thank you for thanking her.
Yeah, thank you. And EHEF saying if they refuse to apologize, Trump should just release snippets of the phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they recorded all of those humiliating negotiations begging Trump for a deal or for an MOU. Yeah, they should just release them.
Yeah. I've always wondered why we don't see more leaks between politicians, but I mean, I know that must be the highest of taboos, so in the politics world. Yeah, thank you, EF, for that. And Justin, with another super chat, thank you, saying, and think how the IRGC is going to react to, say, Ghalibaf begging them to submit to the United States of America. They'll come completely unglued. Yeah, they'll lose their minds. The IRGC some of them are gonna lose their minds that Ghalibaf is submitting to the US. They admitted their mistake. They're begging to talk. We want that to happen. We really want that to happen. And thank you, Justin. And we have Warfieldish saying, US should say, admit you were wrong or Durka demise is halal. Yeah. Halal for sure. It's been halal for, a few months apparently. No other US president was willing to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Warfield. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Fleshy Interloper is saying they take Vance's silly deal and North Korea up. North Korea up.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Did North Korea do something?
Oh, wait. Oh. So, yeah, no, I get it. I think I get it. So, I don't know if this is what you're saying, but I'm going to make it this, okay? So, North Korea became a nuclear power because of deals like this, right? So, if you look, here's the thing. Iraq almost became a nuclear powered country, nuclear weapon country. The reason why it's not because of military operations by Israel. Syria almost became a nuclear weapon country. The reason why it didn't become one is because of military operations by Israel. So you can see military operations stopped Iraq and Syria from having nuclear weapons. Israel was not involved with North Korea. The rest of the world tried to stop North Korea from having nuclear weapons by deals and negotiations. And now North Korea is a nuclear weapon country. So Vance is going the route that has proven to fail. They tried to stop North Korea from having nuclear weapons with deals and negotiations. And now North Korea cannot be dealt with anymore because they have nuclear weapons. But Syria and Iraq were stopped from having nuclear weapons because Israel did what was necessary. And they bombed it. They bombed them until they couldn't have any nuclear weapons anymore. That's how you deal with them. So Vance is going the North Korea route, which has already failed.
Yeah, I think that was under Bill Clinton. But Israel has an amazing track record. And good point, Fleshy, who also said, now I'm sulking because the super chat counter was late. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I forgot.
See, don't forget.
I know. And
I'm never late
all the time.
Counter.
I should have known better.
Yes. Thank you, Fleshy, for reminding him.
Yeah, thank you, Fleshy. We'll read this super chat, and I have a bit of a breaking news for you guys. That's not really anything too significant, but hey, the Wall Street Journal is not that significant. Justin is saying, by the way, $100 million for a U.S. president is actually pretty low. Kind of shows how broke the Islamic Republic is. Oh, he's talking about the bounty that the regime supporters put.
I mean, so far, so many people were trying to do it for free. So I would say, like, there are enough professionals that this is a big money for them.
Yeah, that would be enough. That would be enough for them. unfortunately, or even in whole organization to take it up.
That would be a big.
Thanks, Justin.
That would be a big payday for them.
Yeah. And Fleshy Interloper is saying still sulking.
Oh no!
How can I make it right?
Don't forget next time.
Okay. True. Fleshy, let
me know.
Sorry,
Fleshy. Yeah, sorry, Fleshy.
And Don B saying, per reports, they have till Saturday and only Saturday to renounce the attacks on the ships, so to apologize. The Islamic Republic has until tomorrow to apologize, or boom booms. That's what I was hoping for. I was saying I hope they give them a time, like, hey, apologize, or we're
I don't see them doing it. I don't see them doing it. Do you see them doing it? Maybe they get Pezeshkian to go out there.
I would say it's probably a low chance, but I mean that's
just
the
get
right way to do it.
Just get Pezeshkian to do it, and just basically, yes. If I was me, I would.
True.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw everything. They're gonna throw if they have to talk about nuclear, they're gonna throw that on Pezeshkian anyway. That's why he's still around.
And then President Trump could say, like, "Oh, look, the president of the country came and apologized," and then the pro-regime people could just get angry with Pezeshkian. They're like, "Oh no, you embarrassed us on an international stage. Get him."
Yeah, get him.
Yeah.
That would be a good way, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also means that Trump is, still helping out Ghalibaf to an extent. Yeah, good update, Don. I hope that's true. And until tomorrow, that'd be great. And Sarah Ocean, thank you for the super chat, saying this is that. I can't talk. This assassination plot was a well-known plan, or else Mossad agents would be exposed if this was in a small meeting. That's too risky to tell Trump. So she's saying that there was probably a lot of people in on it, because if there's only a few, then it's easy to single out who's the spy. That's a good point. Or it could be leaked to the Mossad. Could be leaked intentionally to a broad amount of people, because you want it to get out. Maybe Ghalibaf wanted it to get out. Who knows? We're not really sure.
Well, I don't know, because no. Here's the thing, though. Even if it's in a small meeting, when you make moves to do it, then you have to tell more people. Like, how are you gonna? Then there's a chain. Like for example, you're not gonna get Ghalibaf to directly contact the drug cartel. Like, it's not Ghalibaf figuring out, like, okay, how do I hire directly somebody within the Mexican drug cartel? Like, you need other people to do it, right? Like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know how to install an app on his phone. Like, these people have to talk to other people to get these things done. So even if the plan is in a small meeting, eventually you need other people to operationally, if you want it to get done, you need to tell it to more people.
Yeah, but there's also a chain of command. It should be, if you're a good organized leader, it should be easy for you to track down
but as soon as the number of people involved gets above 5, then you're not going to be able to know who it was. And I'm pretty sure this has to be an operation like this has to get to at least, I don't know, 10 people at least.
Oh yeah.
So how are you gonna? Yeah.
Could be messy. You're right. It's a good point, Sarah. Thank you. And Justin, what?
Sarah is saying maybe the cartel has a Mossad agent. Surprise! Like, oh, guys, we made it so unleakable. We're going to go hire the Mexican cartel. No Mossad agent. Every single person is 100% trustworthy. And then the Mossad agent is the Mexican drug cartel. Surprise, motherfucker!
That would, all the people who are like, the Jews, be like, yes.
Right. Mexican Jews.
And Justin saying, I wonder how much patience these Islamic Republic guys have living in their rat holes, hiding from boom booms, when they lived so luxuriously for so many years.
Ooh.
I mean, they're pretty old. They've already squandered the wealth of the nation for decades. Their bunkers are probably pretty nice down there to begin with. They built them a while ago. And
it's not nice. It's not nice. These people, Justin, I think he's right. Like, these people are used to lavish lives. This is like their holes is not this what they're used to.
Yeah, they only put up a show to like show that they're not, luxurious or lavish when they appear publicly. They wear like simple clothes. They try to appear very, normal people, but that's not the case. That's not the case at all. I sure hope so, Justin. It would bring me a lot of comfort knowing that these guys are completely uncomfortable and getting no sleep.
They're stressed. They're stressed out of their mind. The stress that these people gave to the Iranian people for the past 47 years regarding, any time being able to come and take their lives. Now they're experiencing that stress.
Yeah, so no amount of stress on these guys would ever be enough, but it makes me happy. And I think Adolf's on something. I think he's taking something. He looks a little dopey for the past couple months.
Maybe.
Thank you, Justin, for the comforting thought. And Fleshy Interloper saying UAE can kill speedboats without silly rules of engagement. Can they?
They don't have rules of engagement, but they don't have the military capability. Do they have military capability to take out the speedboats? I don't know.
I don't know. I actually don't know about the offensive capabilities of the UAE much more than they have some like older-ish, fighter jets that they used during the war. Yeah, you know what, Fleshy? I'm going to go look into that. I hope they don't have any landing craft, though, because I don't want them to take the islands that is owned by Iran.
Here, I could look into it very fast, actually.
Okay. Thank you, Fleshy. We'll come back to that in just a second. George Hansen is saying, so I was correct. Okay, let's see what you're correct about. You just got to connect all the dots. It's game theory at a very high level. Totally unpredictable unless you know, and then you know. Well, George, that was a little vague. What were you right about? Was it the Turkey, UAE, US?
I think he's talking about it. Yes, the F-35s.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. So the US gets.
Oh, he was
Turkey.
Oh, yeah. I think George was defending President Trump, saying that he's not going to give them F-35, that this is just a game that he's playing with them, that the Turkey is not going to get any F-35s.
Okay, yes. Gotcha. Pull Turkey away from Russia, get another ally, but then also hopefully give Israel better tech so they maintain a competitive edge. All right. We should invite George up here. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. And Arakson UK is saying Israeli F-35I is actually more advanced than the US one. That is not true. That is just a false statement. It's actually not, and the Israelis themselves have acknowledged that. So, yeah. But it's not far behind. It's actually really, really close.
The Israelis have made some modifications to it, I think.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so let me see. Regarding the previous super chat, the UAE possesses sovereign legal authority and national command structure to immediately eliminate hostile speedboats without navigating international legal red tape, because regional security directly impacts their domestic survival. Their rules of engagement. Oh, okay. So the UAE doesn't have the red tape that the United States has, because this is a threat to their security, national security. United States is all over there, so they have less restrictions on what they can do.
Okay, I hope that doesn't mean they can just take the islands and hold them.
No, I'm not talking about the islands. I'm talking about the speedboats. Like, when it comes to USA, they can't say this is a threat to this is a direct threat to the immediate threat to our national security, right? But the UAE can. So they're like, they could take the speedboats without much less red tape.
I see.
Okay,
that makes sense.
but do they have the military capability? That's what I want to know. Do they have the military capability to take out the speedboats? And also, with
Any
regards to the
knowers?
F-35, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm checking that out right now. When it comes to the F-35s, okay, hold on.
Yeah, I just know that the Israelis did modify it, but that's for their own, like their own
Bring back the
particular.
super chat with the F-35, because I need to
This one.
switch there. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll get you the
Yeah,
answer.
so I think overall the F-35 that the U.S. has is overall better, but it seems like the Israelis did modify it so that in specific things, the F-35I of Israel might be slightly better.
Okay, so with the UAE is armed with automated naval cannons, high-speed patrol fleets, and attack helicopters designed specifically to obliterate hostile speedboats. So they do have that. When it comes to the F-35s, custom software overrides independent electronic warfare systems and domestic weapon integration make the Israeli F-35I, is that how you say it, operationally superior for regional combat over the standard US model. Wow. Okay. So the Israeli F-35I is considered more advanced than the standard US version because Israel is uniquely permitted to integrate its own sovereign electronic warfare systems, custom software packages, and domestic weaponry. This gives the jet unmatched local autonomy and specialized jamming capabilities that standard global variants lack.
It did say regional operations.
Yeah. So United States have allowed the Israelis to modify it in a way that they don't allow other people to do. Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. So thank you for letting us know. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
still unconvinced, but let's do it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Erickson. And Justin, with the, I think any talks now are going straight to being about nuclear. Trump's lost patience to waste any more time with the other nuances. It looks like that's true. Vahidi came out today and said specifically that we're not talking about the nuclear as long as the U.S. is doing this.
I mean, guys, we don't know because what Vahidi is saying and what Trump is saying might be just ways to intimidate the other side. So President Trump saying talks are over, ceasefire is over, might be an intimidation tactic. It might be, it might not be. But the only way to judge what's going to happen is to actually see what's going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately. Thank you, Justin. And Fleshy Interloper saying goats without a goat herd. Oh man, I was thinking something else. Yeah, absolutely, Fleshy. Yes, they do like their goats.
Okay, I know what you're getting at, but I do not appreciate insulting goats like this. I call these people are more like sheeps, not goats. Goats are, no offense to sheeps, but you're all the same. Okay, you're all the same. You behave the same. You have zero personality. Sheeps have zero personality. Goats, on the other hand, are each and every single one of them have individual, unique personality. Okay, have you met a goat? They all have their own unique personality. You want to, when you meet a goat, you want to actually you fall in love. You want to know it. Okay, like wow, You get to see its behavior. It's unique. It's cute. It's pretty special. Each one of them are special. Sheep, you can't tell the difference. They're all the same. They behave exactly the same. So goats, I don't know. So these Durka people, they're not like goats. They're like sheep. No offense to sheep.
I feel like sheep would take offense to that, though. You don't think so?
I mean, they're too dumb to take offense to anything. A goat would take offense to this and spit in your face. Rightly so. But a sheep, I don't know.
Fair enough. Thank you, Fleshy. Appreciate you.
Also, by the way, speaking of goats, I have one right here.
Oh.
Look at this. It's a goat. There we go.
There you guys go. Sorry. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Fleshy, again. And Sarah Ocean saying, "Sweet Ali, can you record a little Santur song to play at the intro of Alligrams? P.S. You two are the best combo since ham and pineapple. Love you both."
Oh.
Ooh. To record it for the beginning? I don't know, but I'll play for you guys at some point. I'll do that. I promise.
Oh yeah. Have you ever played Santur on your stream? You should. Guys, Ali is an expert Santur player. Can you do that for us? Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
I just have to figure out how I can get it like behind my desk.
He doesn't just play, he's like expert level.
My dad's expert level. So in the Mihmunis, in the like Persian parties, usually I play first because I want to go first, and then my dad plays, and he sounds, way better because he's played for much longer, and he's just straight up better. And I don't want to have the embarrassment of going afterwards, so I always go first. But yeah, thank you, Sarah. Okay, I'll play. Let me just figure out how to like fit it here.
Yeah, we need to see. You need to do it so we can see it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good suggestion, Sarah. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And Elspeth, who's always very kind, says, "Wonderful analysis, gentlemen. This is my must-watch daily channel." Oh, wow.
Thank you
so much.
And
big
very
compliment.
Generous super chat. Thank you so much. That's very sweet.
Thank you so much.
And beautiful compliment as well.
Yes. Thank you. And Fleshy Interloper saying, "Parliamentary Assassination Planning Committee." Yep, that's Sabati. That's just been the Islamic Republic. They've been shouting in their parliament sessions "Death to America" for ever.
Guys, do we have any other country that has that?
Not even North Korea.
That they have like a committee like that passes a law for assassination in their parliament of a president for a sitting president of another country.
Nope. Oh, that's just embarrassing. What happened to our country? How'd they actually take us back 1400 years? That is so difficult to do. And they did it. It's just so sad. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Fleshy. I think I lost Fleshy as my supporter. But I have the late counters. Fleshy, come back. I'm sorry. And Joanne, who gifted me 1 membership, thank you so much. Whoever got it, speak up.
Joanne comes to the Persian channel almost every day and gifts, when we go live on the Persian channel for our audience in Iran, she comes over there and she gives membership gifts to the people in the chat. And I was like, guys, this is Joanne from Australia supporting us.
That's very kind. Thank you so much. And Fizz Endricist is saying, "What reaction do you anticipate from Vahidi in the hardliner base to Jalili's alignment with Ghalibaf?" Okay, so the general weight that Jalili pulls, can you give us an idea of how to measure that?
Okay, much less than people thought, though. So, what reaction do you anticipate from Vahidi and the hardliner burst? So, Jalili's apparent alignment with Ghalibaf. Oh, okay. So, basically, they feel the walls closing in on them, and they feel afraid. And I think, guys, Vahidi had a huge during the funeral. There was a huge revelation that he doesn't have the upper hand, right? Because they introduced him as Janishine Farmandeye Sepah, which means that the interim kind of means like the interim head of IRGC. So it was confirmed that he is not officially the head of IRGC. So that means that he's not that powerful. He's not that big of a deal. And with that announcement, they basically brought his position. They kind of confirmed to everybody that he's like not that big. The other hardliner bears, Jalil is apparent element. I think everybody could see that the Ghalibaf camp is winning, and either you get with it or get eliminated.
Yeah, it's true. Once you get enough support, then it looks like you have all the support and you'll pull even more people. You're right. Generally not good, Fez Injustice. It's not a good thing that's happening. Them getting on the same page, not very good.
Yeah, the walls are closing in on Vahidi. Ghalibaf is winning.
So he either pulls some sort of, operation, or he kind of just quietly surrenders. Thank you, Physingist, who also shows up to my group discussions. Thank you. And Joanne says, for the confetti. Thank you so much. We hit the 10. There we go. Thank you very much.
Even though you started late, they still helped you. See, you have such a reliable base of support from your community. Even when you started late, they still got you to your goal.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
And then in the chat he was also following up, Physingist was following up his question saying, do you see any coups happening in the IRGC ranks? Like, is that going to happen? So if Vahidi kind of silently keeps losing power, there's no need. He'll just become powerless at some point. But if he tries to pull something, then yes.
So here's the thing. The people who I don't think, how we used to think that maybe the people who are attacking the ships are the Durka jihadi people who are moving against Ghalibaf, right? It does seem like it just doesn't make sense to give up all your leverage. Like, even if you want to be, I think Ghalibaf is becoming more successful in getting everybody on the same page, unfortunately. But the reason why you still see attacks in the Strait of Hormuz and a lot of defiance against President Trump is because even Ghalibaf can see that we can't just give everything up. Like, we will be like sitting ducks. There needs to be some pushback. If we give up everything, like the Strait of Hormuz, Hezbollah, and the enriched uranium, then like we're sitting ducks over here, right?
Yeah, then it's just bye-bye. It's like you're done.
Bye-bye, yeah.
Yeah,
this is not a hardliner position. This is not like an insane, really, position. This makes everybody is doing the right thing for their survival, I think. Right?
So you're suggesting that it's in Ghalibaf's interest to keep some of those IRGC hardliners there and claim that he can't control them.
Yes. But yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So there we go. And again, thank you, Joanne, for the confetti super chat. We have Cleary here saying, you guys have great synergy. Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We do. Yes, we do. I agree.
We do. That's why it works every day for 2 months. No problem so far. In fact, after the show, we're kind of like, we both started doing this recently. We're both like, hey, like what do you think we can do better? And Cleary also said, debt to America. I wonder what the debt is. Is it like
actually, American
billion?
debt is the reason why the US dollar, one of the many reasons why US dollar is the dominant global currency, right? Because it's the most reliable debt.
Yeah, exactly.
When people want to invest, when people want to invest in a very secure liquid asset, it's American bonds that they go with, treasury bills, right? And that makes it, that means that you have to buy US dollars to be able to buy American debt, to lend money to Uncle Sam and buy American bonds, which is the highest demand for safe liquid debt in the world. And because you have to buy USD to be able to do that, that's one of the many reasons why the US dollar is the king of all currencies. So debt is good for America. American debt is why US dollars is king.
And you can just print more. And by print more, I mean literally what the Federal Reserve does is they just go 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 enter, and they send it to banks. They don't physically.
Well, you can't just do it endlessly. Obviously, that will cause a lot of.
Not endlessly, but they do it a lot. I think.
Oh, they do it reasonably. No, they do it based on how much inflation. They do it. It's not. They don't just go willy nilly with the zeros, right? They do it based on, the level of money supply, the inflation targets, the amount of liquidity that they want to provide. But anyways, it's not like willy nilly. Like, oh, let's just keep add. I think a lot of people think United States just go make printer go brrr, like endlessly without any planning.
Yeah, no, not endlessly.
There is a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of planning that goes into that.
So, oh man, yeah. So they printed 34 billion between January and February of this year, in just 1 month.
Yeah, but there's more goods. Like, okay, but there's a lot of goods that was created in that amount of time. So you need the US dollars to be able to chase that good, right? So, if you're producing more wealth, then you need to increase the money supply to chase that wealth.
True.
Because if your economy is producing things and then the amount of dollars is the same, right? That would be deflationary, right? You need to print money to match the amount of goods that you're making. Anyways, we're going into Econ 101.
Until Elon takes it all, which I mean, hey, take it all. Just get us off this planet. I'll stay in Iran, but everyone else can go to Mars or wherever they need to go.
No, we don't want to get off this planet. We get off this planet to be able to serve this planet. Planet Earth. I love planet Earth. If we go to Mars, is to gain the things from Mars to serve planet Earth. It's all about Earth. I don't want to get off this planet. I love this planet.
Let's see how we feel after El Nino that's about to hit us. I think the world's about to warm up like 6 degrees all of a sudden. But we'll see what happens.
We're gonna be fine.
It's supposed to be the strongest El Nino in like 200 years or something. But yeah, we'll see.
We're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah. The real Sal, I remember you, said, "Addy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" What do I want to be when I grow up? Probably just like maybe like a cool dad. Probably.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's sweet. Not a Savak guy, not a torturer of the Islamic Republic.
Probably not.
Or maybe.
But like, I'm like, I don't know. Should I have like one kid and just focus on raising that one kid with all my time and energy? Or should I have like 6 kids and just like, just have a ton, have a big family? I don't know. I don't know who's willing to have 6 kids. I don't know. Anyway. Thank you, Real Sal. That's a great question. It's a great question. You know what? Actually, I actually started the first type of questions that I would ask Armin in his discussion group were really personal questions. I'd be like, for my like one question of like the day, I'd be like, Armin, how are you feeling? How's your emotional state? And Armin would be like, I don't know, man. Don't ask me that again. And I was like, oh damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you could ask. It's fine. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, just give me.
It just caught me off guard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe as many kids as I can possibly have. Who knows? So, thanks to Real Sal.
Okay.
What?
So you want what you want to be when you grow up is a baby making machine? That's what you want to do.
Yeah, I love mentoring, so I would really like to.
I think that's just an excuse
raise
for
a
doing
kid.
something else. But yeah, go on.
And doesn't sound too bad, but yeah, I love mentoring and like teaching and developing. So I like investing time and energy into something and seeing that thing do well or that person do well. So yeah. What better to do it than okay, anyway. Thanks to Real Sal. And Omid is saying quick maths. How many kilograms of corn is Ghalibaf worth? Well, Ghalibaf would just be worth how many kilograms he's weighing.
Yep.
If we're being generous here. It's real generous, real generous.
I mean, Ghalibaf's worth is in the negative, given what they're doing to Iran. I think saying Ghalibaf is worthless is generous because of the amount of damage and harm these people do to the Islamic Republic. Something that is worthless has so much more value than these people because these people are so damaging to our economy of Iran that the value of these people is trillions of dollars in the negative.
Yeah, I would say at least 2 kilograms. Thanks, Hamid. And Araxon UK says Israeli own source code as the only user outside of the US. Yeah, it seems like they're the only country allowed to actually modify it with their own code.
Enhance it.
You know, I still believe that the American F-35 is better. I just don't think it's like classified, and I don't think it's unclassified for us to know that. But I have a hard time believing that the US would let another country have something better than themselves, even though they made it.
No, I think we're comparing it to the base model, right? The base model that gets sold out. So what Israel has is superior to what the United States is selling to the rest of the world.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure what the United States uses, they could add enhancements to their own F-35.
Yeah, no, I agree with that then. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Erickson. And Justin saying, all I have to say to who has the best F-35 is F-47, baby. Yeah, I mean, if they're going to sell F-35s to more countries, I'm assuming the F-47, the next generation of fighter jets is going to come out by that time as well.
Okay. Ooh, look at F-47. Oh my God, this thing looks so sexy. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Looks like a video game plane.
Oh my God, I want one.
Do you want to show it?
Oh my God, this is so pretty. Hold on. What is this? When is it coming out? Why is it so sexy? How much does it cost? I don't know.
Imagine how fast you could get to places with that.
So
It
apparently,
looks like a Dorito.
$300
Looks
million.
like a Shahid drone. Doesn't it look like a Shahid
Oh
drone?
no! Oh my God! No, don't say that. This looks so much sexier. Shahid is just a flying Dorito, but this
You guys
is
don't see that?
this is gonna be $300 million per aircraft.
Okay, that's a little steep.
So basically, 3 of them would be about billion. 3 of these would be $1 billion. Jesus.
Huh. Yeah, that's significantly more than my current vehicle. But thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. And Father of Chaos is saying Validity will be looking for drones. Oh, Vahidi? Is that what you meant? Vahidi will be looking for drones. I mean, he has all the drones he needs, I think.
Yep. No, I mean he's going to be looking in the sky for one of them to be hitting them. Probably.
Ah, yes. You know, maybe he fled on the back of a motorcycle from the funeral in Tehran because he saw what happened to Arachi and Pezeshkian with the crowd, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not even chancing it. I'm out."
He also doesn't want to take a vehicle away from the crowd because then he might get taken out. He wants to be in the crowd but also not walk with them because he doesn't want to get attacked by them. So that's actually a smart move, right? Because if you go to the funeral away from the crowd, you might get hit by a drone. But so you want to be in the middle of the crowd. But if you're in the middle of the crowd might attack you. So I'm going to use a motorcycle to go through the crowd.
They do seem a little smart nowadays, yeah. It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, anyway, thanks, Father of Chaos, and I hope so. And Nail Bunny, who gifted another 5
Yay.
Liberty Politics memberships.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Always look at this. She's always so supportive. This
Very
is the
kind.
second time she support. Thank you, Nail Bunny. Mrs. Claus. Sorry, Mrs. Claus. Thank you, Nail Bunny.
Yeah. And guys, please remember to subscribe to both of our channels. So Adi Samani and Liberty Politics. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the next super chat is I haven't seen this username. Aryan of Persia.
Aryan of Persia
says, if the various regime factions eventually consolidate around Ghalibaf and he becomes the de facto leader of the Third Republic, how do we go from there to eventual regime change, collapse?
Depends on whether Ghalibaf is successful in rebranding, the skin shedding process is successful or not, right? So if there's 2 things that could happen. If Ghalibaf basically becomes the de facto leader, assuming that once this is all done, they're not going to kill him, right? Or nothing happens to him, because that's a huge possibility that he's flying too close to the sun. He might actually eventually crash and burn and die, right? But assuming that he becomes successful, there's 2 ways that this could go. Either to be able to consolidate his power, he needs to keep challenging the grip on power that the IRGC has. If he does that, he is paving the way for the Iranian people to eventually be able to topple the regime, because he's basically, to be able to consolidate the power, he needs to erode the powers of the part of the regime that is the number 1 obstacle in the path of the Iranian people. If for him to be able to do this, he needs to privatize all of the businesses owned by the IRGC, and basically the IRGC losing its grip on that a huge portion of Iran's economy. If that happens, that would also lead to the IRGC not having enough economic power for it to maintain its military power. And if that happens, whatever becomes the new conditions of the military of the Islamic Republic would be easier for the Iranian people to fight against, if that happens. However, if on the other hand, he creates a new form of the IRGC that are under his control, that is defanged in a way that the Americans and the Israelis are not considering a threat anymore, which is really hard to imagine. I mean, if you defang the IRGC, then the Israelis will be more motivated to attack it, not less. But even if that happens, that would be the worst case scenario, where they rebrand the Islamic Republic as something that is, not as harsh to the Western world, and kind of reformed, because now they're allowing women to be without hijab, they're allowing people to drink alcohol, they're allowing people to sing and dance, but there's still no political freedom and there's still no economic freedom. If we get to a situation where that happens and the world basically backs out, then Ghalibaf will create a version of the Third Republic where it will become so much more difficult for the Iranian people to topple the regime. It wouldn't be impossible, but it would be so much more difficult. The thing that the Iranian people will have in their favor is that this would be a regime with close to 0% support, which is very unstable. But the main thing that gives us hope is that Israel will not tolerate an Islamic Republic, right? Israel will not tolerate. And if Ghalibaf even moves towards a direction where it's defanging the IRGC or the Islamic Republic for the world to not be aggressive against it, because the world cannot tolerate an Islamic Republic that is this aggressive. For its survival, Ghalibaf would have to change the appearance of the Islamic Republic for it to seem less hostile to the world. And the thing that we have mostly in our favor is that even if we go towards that, Israel will then take advantage of that situation and finish the job. Because Israel, with its history, has learned that you cannot trust. When you have an enemy, just because it's holding back, it doesn't mean that it's not going to come back at you at a later date. So if it sees Islamic Republic in that situation where it's vulnerable, it will take advantage of that and strike it and weaken the Islamic Republic further for the Iranian people to be able to come and do an uprising. So the one major ally the Iranian people have that will always be there would be Israel. And Israel is not going to, just like the Iranian people, Israel is not going to give up on hitting the Islamic Republic until it's over. So this is why the bridge that we have built between the Iranian people and the Israelis are very important. Because as Israelis are as determined as the Iranian people to finish the job with the Islamic Republic, but our relationship makes us more aligned. Like if we keep, one thing that we need to keep maintaining is the bond that we have built between the Iranian people and Israelis, because that means that the elements within the Israel that are focusing on supporting the patriotic line and silent revolution will have the upper hand, because there are elements within Israel that are more interested in supporting maybe MEK or the Kurdish separatist groups, and so they're interested in toppling the Islamic Republic, but sometimes there are some elements within Israel that are more interested in supporting groups that are not in line with our revolution. So the Iranian people supporting Israel and the Israeli people supporting the Iranian people will mean that within Israel, the movement that would have the upper hand when it comes to toppling the Islamic Republic will be the political movement that is in support of the Iranian patriots, not the MEK, not the separatists. Does that make sense?
That was beautifully said. Way better than I could possibly say it. Extensive and covered everything. That's a clip.
Oh.
So basically, your short answer, Aryan, is at every point there will be an opportunity. It'll just get harder if Ghalibaf managed to rebrand the Islamic Republic so that countries around the world think the Islamic Republic is no longer a threat. And even then, if the Islamic Republic is not a threat to those countries, it's still a threat to Israel, and Israel will still, at the end of the day, have operations against the Islamic Republic as long as it stands. So there will always be an opportunity. It's just when is it easier and when is it harder? And thank you for that question. That's a great question. And
yeah,
Ben Jamming,
being so kind in the chat. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ben Jamming is saying, I want one also. I can show off my F-47 to the Canadians. Lol, I'm joking. I love my Canadians. Yeah, I don't think they'll get it.
I wonder how many girls you could pick up showing up in that. Look at this. Thank you, by the way, Ben. If you show up in one of these, do you think you will be able to get on a second date? I think you will be able to get on a second date with this.
I don't know. I'm not too convinced. What do you guys think?
I think you will definitely get a second date if you show up in this.
Steve is saying it has 2 seats, right?
Yes. You will get all the ladies. Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Fine stress.
Thanks, Ben Jamming. And Richard Royce with a generous super sticker. Thank you for that.
Thank you. That's a very generous super sticker. Thank you. What was it? Oh no, it's just a super sticker. That's very generous. Thank you.
Thank you. And Motorpool Grease Monkey,
who's
our
look at that.
latest addition to the Liberty Politics political streamers, says, "Love your work, Ali and Armin. Keep it up."
We love your work.
Yeah.
We love your work. Big fan of your work.
Big fan, Monkey.
Yes.
It feels weird saying like monkey, but I'll get used to it.
No, I like it.
Thanks, Monkey.
It's our monkey.
Because in Farsi, when you call someone a monkey, it's like an insult. It's always an insult.
It shouldn't be. I love monkeys. Monkeys, like goats, they have individual personalities.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, calling someone any animal in Farsi is always an insult. Is there an animal that is not? Dog, bear.
No, cat is not.
But no one says like.
No, bear is not an insult.
Cat. Yeah, kherse gonde, kherse, khers.
No.
Kherse.
Maybe it shouldn't be.
Maymoon, monkey. Yeah, I don't know what animal even is used good.
Cat.
Definitely not dog. But no one says like, oh, like gorbas, like to a person.
No, pishi. I don't know. Oh, tiger is a compliment in Persian.
Oh yeah, lion, tiger. Yeah, you're right. Lion. There we go.
Lion is brave. Tiger is like a sexy girl, I think.
Palang, remember in the 2000s? Palangs. That was a good trend.
Yes. Is it, guys? Is like I think this is new. Is Palang like a sexy girl in Iran?
Palang are it's like, so anyone know the 2000s like British like girls who would tan themselves, like do their hair like that and like super big makeup? We had the same version of that in Iran and we called it Palang. They like did themselves up super like, yeah, it's like it's kind of negative. But we in the Iranian diaspora, like in the American diaspora, we just kind of like call anyone who has like Botox or like any of that stuff like Palang. So thank you, Monkey. And Father of Chaos says F-35I was improved by Israel. They then gave that tech to the USA. Israel did us right. I didn't know that. Ooh, interesting.
That's good. That's interesting. Oh, thank you, Israel.
Nice to hear. And then I think those two were met.
No. I didn't read these two.
Okay, sorry.
These two. So yeah, I ask if I show up in this in an F-47, will I be able to pick up girls? And then Fine Straws saying yes, unless you're Vance. So I just wanted to, I don't know. She cracks me up.
Have you seen that interview with Vance and his wife? Them talking to each other? It seems so unnatural and forced. I don't even want to get into their dynamic.
I know why.
Look like husband and wife.
I know why. Because he's in love with General Munir. Okay. Because every time he's talking to his wife, who's Indian, he's more interested in Pakistan than India. And every time he's with his wife, he's like, I wish I was with General Munir right now.
Yeah. That's not weird.
Somebody's okay. Sorry, I knew I knew you were going to say that, Armin. That's right. Okay. We think alike.
And Aaron Duff. If I get a
Pictures.
cat in the future, their name will be Armin.
I approve.
I approve. Oh, interesting chats. People are still talking about
if you guys are gonna hate me.
Oh no.
If I get my next dog, if it's a male dog, you know what I'm gonna call it?
What?
Haydar. So when I'm out in the park, I could be when I'm calling it, I could be like Haydar, Haydar. No, no.
I don't think you should do that, because if you ever come to
No?
Iran and bring your dog,
Oh.
you know,
Haydar, Haydar.
don't. Yeah,
No.
they're gonna hurt you. They're gonna do you wrong. Someone who's fought for them for years, they're gonna, you know.
Oh my god. You know, guys, go to Starbucks and put on your name as Haydar. Get your barista to shout Haydar, 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 Haydar. No.
Hodor.
Oh my god. Hodor.
Okay. Yeah, since we went kind of over, there were some other updates, but they're not really big, so I'll probably just give them to you guys tomorrow. And yeah, let's look forward to the Islamic Republic coming out and apologizing, and let's look forward to some more strikes. Anything that signals that we're going towards a maximum pressure policy against them.
Guys, look at this. The monkey.
They should also force them to say we're opening the strait.
So, guys, the monkey has a live stream coming up.
Sweet.
Yes, it's going to be communism versus democracy. It's going to go live right after our show here, me and Ellie. So the monkey, who's in the chat right now, has live streams about American politics. I'll put the link in the chat. Go watch it. It's going to start pretty soon. Wait.
Yeah, guys.
It should have already started. Yes. So yeah, I think it's going to start right after Ali and I. So go and support him over there. And I put the link in the chat. Also go support Ali's channel. He's we're trying to get him to 10,000. So I'll put the link. 10K. I'll put the link to Ali's channel in the chat as well. Go subscribe to Ali.
Yeah, and make sure you also subscribe to Liberty Politics if you're watching on my channel and you don't know us so far. Please also subscribe to both channels here. Much appreciated.
Congrats on Amir. Amir is saying thank you. Amir saying congrats on 93K. Amir. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sweet. Thank you.
Let's get us to
100K with the plaque.
They're not gonna send me the plaque. They're gonna be it's too controversial.
They might. I feel like you haven't gotten any strikes or anything, so
we'll see.
All right, guys. Hopefully by our next stream, the Islamic Republic has apologized and opened up the strait. Hopefully. All right.
All right, guys, we're gonna go now. Let us know if this was helpful. I genuinely think I'm not exaggerating when I say this segment with Ali and I is the most detailed, most nuanced, most illuminating live stream on Iran. I mean, I'm not gonna be humble about it. I looked everywhere. I really don't think it gets any better than this. If you agree, let us know in the comment section. And also like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. And let other people know that they're missing out. They're missing out if they're not watching this live stream. If they want to understand this stuff, this is the live stream that they need to come in and watch every day. Okay? Just let them know. Okay? Thank you.
Yep, exactly.
We appreciate that. Yes.
Thank you guys for showing up. And with that,
people are agreeing in the chat. With that, I'm Israel Chai.
I'm Israel Chai.
Slava Ukrainian.
Slava Ukrainian.
Cuba Libre. Long live America.
Long live America.
Javicha. Payande.
Iran.
Iran. See you guys.